All right, all right. It's Friday. It means it's time for the podcast. We have our next guest, Abdell from Got Mortgages. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Let's get right into it. So you got your Got Mortgage shirt on. I love that every time I see you, you have talk about branding. You're in the mortgage game, but you know your marketing, and I really respect that. I think that's great that you always got your Got Mortgages branding on, and
Yep.
looks good.
I appreciate that.
Everybody knows you, and on social, you have the great profiles. So let's get right into the grid of it all. So you're in a tough market, man.
Yeah, it's fun. It's crazy. Diving right into it. I mean, market obviously transitioned after 2020, 2021, right? COVID hit. I've been doing this for just about 6 years now, 6.5. So kind of saw a little bit of a transition previously around 2017, 2018. You were still dealing with, the supply and demand issue and shortage has always been a concern, right? It obviously ramped up significantly, when COVID came. COVID threw a huge, massive curveball into everything. The Fed had no choice but to cut down interest rates where, I'm sure you probably bought your first house, right? It was nowhere near 2s and 3s.
No,
right?
I was telling somebody that the other day. I was early in investing in real estate when I was about 20 years old. Me and my brother bought a rental property. We lived in Long Island,
Yep.
New York, and we bought a house like in a town called East Quogue, which is near the Hamptons, because we used to rent houses to go and party. And so we were like, let's buy a house that we can rent out to other people. So I paid 8% for my first mortgage in the year 1999, 2000. So like 8%, like where we are now, wasn't that weird. I mean, yes, I've taken advantage of the 5s and the 4s.
Yeah,
I think my house when I bought in brick was 3.5. So I get it, but about 8 was where I started.
Yeah, so I think what truly transitioned is 2020, 2021, the biggest difference is, and me, I get really particular with it, right? And that's, I think, one of the things that's allowing us the ability right now to stay super, super competitive and super, super busy, thank God, is, the mortgage industry. I always knew it, you qualify, you don't. There's something called, you've heard it from my other videos, called the 4 C's, right? We look at a client's credit score. We look at a client's capital. Where's the money coming from? We look at a client's collateral. What are they buying, right? And then we take a look at their capacity, their ability to repay, right? And that's always been like that for quite some time. Now, affordability obviously is now massively shifted. When rates were 2s and 3s, a $500,000 home, your mortgage payment is like $3,000. Now, a $300,000 home, your mortgage interest rate is $3,000. So very, very big difference in terms of affordability. But I will be honest with you, when I moved down here, because I'm originally from North Jersey, when I moved down here 2.5 years ago, when I saw my house, we placed $65K over, waiving the appraisal, waiving the inspection, 7-day closing. Seller, you could stay in the house for a month for free.
Just to get the house.
Just to get the house.
Because it was so darn competitive.
Because it's competitive. It was June of 2021 when we bought it. We're now, for the first time, and I used to, I go on a bunch of podcasts.
So I'm not special here.
So you're 100% special.
All right.
But, people would ask me about the market. And I'm like, dude, we're busy. We're great, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, rates just keep trickling up. This is probably the first podcast that I've done where I can now confidently say rates are now consistently trickling down.
So I am special. I'm the
you've
first one that's going to be here.
You've set the precedent, right?
All right.
And I'll come every single day if we have to. If rates can keep going down.
But with the unemployment going up,
exactly.
Right?
So there's 2 things that we really look out for, right? Again, from a big picture perspective, is unemployment. The scary part is the Fed, the government. Their job is to do what? Instill stability in the market. So now they also had their other rhetoric was people just got to stop spending money. So we're going to make things more expensive. I mean, you just opened up your new place. Congrats, right?
Thank you.
And I'm sure when you opened up this one, it was probably more expensive to buy stuff, desks, chairs, this, that, than probably when you opened up your other place.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Sure.
and it's more experience and so on and so forth, but it doesn't matter. Cost of stuff is higher.
Cost stuff
So,
higher.
so that's exactly it. So now what the Fed did was they increased the federal funds rate, which is the overnight borrowing rates for banks, which makes things more expensive. That's what made, obviously, interest rates go up. That's what made the borrowing power go up. That's what made everything that we saw. I mean, I never, like, my wife and I go to Costco, like, every 2 weeks, right? And I already know when you're walking into Costco, you're going to get cracked. $400 or $500 easily. If we're walking away at 500, I'm like, are you sure you got everything? So I never used to pay attention, right? And you don't look at the prices, you just grab. You know, when you go into Costco, you already know, like, you're not going to look, this is 14, this is 15, you grab what you want.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I noticed it, man, was like 6 months ago. The Tropicana, the orange juice, and not picking on Tropicana or whatever, but that's just what my kids drink. They used to sell them in the cartons, right? And they used to sell 4. Now they changed it to the plastic bottles, and they only put 3. Now I noticed the difference.
Sure.
You know,
you're out one unit.
Yeah, you're out, and then the packaging is smaller. I don't know. I asked my wife because she usually watches it more, and she's like, "Yeah, it's the same price."
Oh,
so
wow.
I noticed that. And then, as silly as it is, the kids' mac and cheese, right? Like the little mini ones that you can just put water in right away in the microwave. They used to have a bigger box of 18. Now it's cut down to 12. So I noticed
Yeah,
that.
that's a big
right?
difference too.
Yeah, so those are things that I actually like am feasibly touching. You know, gas is gas, whatever. You know, I mean, we put gas. What do you drive?
I have a little SUV.
Oh, okay. So I have a V10 Hemi truck.
Oh, you're
so
using a lot of gas.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
So if I could stay home, I'm going to stay home.
Yep.
And you know, you put gas, you're like, whatever. You know, you're driving around, you're going here, you're going there. But the first time I noticed that inflation truly hit close to home was when I noticed that.
Yeah.
Right. But you know, talking about the market, man. I mean, listen, there's still 4 million. They're projecting. You know, we're almost done with the year, but 4 million homes have been sold this year. That's still 4 million homes.
Yep.
Dude,
What was
like,
it? What was it during 2020?
I mean, of course, it was a lot
Yeah.
higher. Yeah. I mean, like a lot higher. But it's also different too because not only was purchases higher, there were also a lot of consumers who were refinancing. And refinancing, not necessarily just to pull money out, refinancing to drop their interest rates. Right now, no one's doing a rate and term refinance to drop your rate because I think it's, and I don't know this statistic, but like, you know, when you see like the number of people that have 6% interest rate and less is like 30%.
Yeah.
The number of people are like 4% unders. So it's obviously not as high as where it is right now, you know, but we're finally trickling down. We crept at one point to the 8s last month. Now we're creeping back down to high 6s, low 7s.
Okay.
Big change.
That one point makes a monster
dude,
of a change.
huge change.
Yeah.
And we talked about affordability. 2020, 2021, there was about 50 million people who could qualify for a home. Since rates changed to 6, 7, 8, it dropped to 23 million people, which means that almost more than half, 27 million people, are out of the market.
That's crazy.
Not even because they're like, you know, I'll pay more. No, dude, you just can't qualify.
Yeah, sure.
Right? So the reason why I say this and where I talk to a lot of our clients, because we get the question a million times, is it the right time to buy and is it not, and all that stuff. So over the last course of few weeks, and it depends on also certain areas too, because, you know, even by us, like in Ocean County, if you're trying to get a house and it's beautiful and it's creme de creme and it's ready to rock, let's say it's listed for $500,000, you're not getting it for $500,000. You're getting it for $525,000, $530,000, and you know we always look at contingencies. So you got to get the inspection contingency waived, you got to get the appraisal contingency waived, and stuff like that. It's still like that. Now, other sometimes areas where a house may need a little bit of love, may need a little bit of a facelift, you can actually get it probably for what it's listed for, $400,000, sometimes even less,
Little less, yeah.
than what it's listed for. Or there's also something called seller's concessions, where you can get the seller to pay your closing costs. You'll never be able to do that next year. You guys can quote me on that.
Quote him here. In 2024, No one is going to do a seller's concession.
It's going to be like, unless the house is beat up and the sellers are in a position, and actually talking about houses being beat up, right now the houses, many instances, the sellers don't want to fix anything.
No.
I mean, if you're an investor, you're going to want to fix it because it's cheaper than giving a credit. But many people are either downsizing or, they just had a baby. They don't want to fix, little things that, your roof's leaking or the house needs this. So now we're getting a lot more sellers concessions for that.
Yep.
So instead of me fixing ABC, I'm going to give you $5,000, $6,000.
My feeling is on that one, as a homeowner myself, I want to. If someone has, like when I bought my house, there were things wrong with it. I don't want them to fix it because they're not going to fix it the right way. They're not going to fix it to the standard that I would expect it to be done to, and I'd rather just do it myself.
Yeah. So that's the one advantage, right now within this market is I always tell my clients, put the interest rate to the side. There's nothing you can do. We're going to tackle it. All of my consumers, I jump on Zoom with them, and I share my computer screen, and I show them their raw interest rate. And I say, I use something called Mortgage Coach, where basically it literally compares to apples. And I say, if you're at a 7% interest rate, you have to pay, say, a point to get it. So now your cash to close is higher, but your payment's only less by $50. Or you can get this, and your rate's 7.5, which you're going to be like, well, fuck that. That's 7. I want that. But your payment's only going to be higher $100, but you're saving up front 5 G's.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So comparing apples to apples,
and then you got to think about how long you're going to be in that house,
and the break even too.
Yeah.
So like you're saving $100, you're paying an extra $100, but you're coughing up $5,000 up front. That's going to take you over 50 months.
Yep.
To recoup the benefit. You're going to refi this before 50 months.
And what's funny is I think some of that is just in their head. It's like,
of course,
you don't want to pay. It's almost like when people, there's some products. I was talking to somebody the other day. People that need a website from Wingman, they want the best website. But like, if we're going to sell them apparel, they want to save $1 a shirt. But it's not that they want
to be vice versa.
Exactly. But it's the perceived value in things. And again, I think it comes down to the same thing here, where the number 7.5, and that number just irks you, and you want it to be 7 or 6.5 or lower. Versus what's that upfront cost? What's the time value of money too? What's that $5,000 worth to you in your pocket? As a rainy day fund, even if nothing else, then to save $100. Again, you need 50 months to do it. So that's over 4 years. When you think about how long most people stay in a home, or refi. So like I just I totally get it with you. So how did you get into this? So you told us everything about the current market. I mean, we know everything, and we also know 2024, no sellers concessions. But how did you get into this market? Go back to where you hit the crossroads. I mean, let's start there.
So I was originally going to Rutgers, Newark, political science, and actually the goal was pursuing law school. So I met my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, 15 years.
Congrats.
Yeah, man, crazy. And we're going through the whole college and the whole shebang, and then one day she comes and she tells me she's pregnant. Junior year of college, our second semester, and I'm like, holy crap. So
there go the fraternity parties.
Yeah, and I was part of a fraternity and the
Not
whole
anymore.
shebang. living in a frat house. So it was fun. So obviously life shifted. And luckily we never stopped school. We had an awesome support system with her family and the whole shebang. And law school got put on pause for a second. Yep. And I started working for a very successful law firm for quite some time, for about 6 years. And simultaneously, I also opened up a credit consulting company, helping clients with their credit. So a lot of the clients who are going through these PI cases, personal injury, they're beat up, they're out of work, they're lost a job, so their credit tends to take a hit, right? They're swiping on their cards, defaulting on their cards. So I opened up a credit consulting company to help them out. And eventually, as I helped out these people with their cases being settled and stuff like that, they would come to me to look to buy a house. And I would pass them off to guys, because I'm like, dude, I'm already up to my hair, and this and that. And the credit consulting company was getting really big because I was expanding it to car dealerships and expanding it to accountants and stuff like
Oh,
that.
nice.
Yeah, so it was great. So that's where the financial aspect came into it. I think we got a glitch.
Andrew, we got a little glitch.
Uh,
Doesn't want to do it at all.
was it work on battery or?
Yeah, but I have it plugged in.
Oh, we're good. Okay, cool. So where did I leave off?
So all right. So you have you're doing the credit repair. You're
Yep.
helping.
Yep. So we're helping out, like I said, a bunch of different car dealerships, various different accountants and stuff like that. And then so we're getting busy, and a lot of these clients are they're really getting a lot of traction. Their stuff is getting fixed. We're in 2016. Market's doing okay, and they're looking to buy houses, and I'm passing them off. And guys we're aggressive. We're Jersey guys. We're ready to rock. Let's get it. Let's respond back. Let's set expectations. And the communication channel wasn't necessarily being established to the best ability. So I got clients calling, complaining, and I'm guiding them.
Isn't that the worst feeling when you refer
it's
someone
horrible.
and they don't call the person back? Like, to me, like that's the grit.
Suck.
That's the grit of it
Yep.
all. That you end up like you hustle to get it done, and then the person behind you doesn't get it done.
Yep. So then we started actually looking to buy our first home, my wife and I. And by the time I knew what to do and the whole shebang, I'm like, dude, I might as well just go and get my license myself. So I started researching it, got my license, took the exam Monday to Friday, took the test Saturday, passed. It was a 1-week course, took it in Fairfield, passed, ready to rock. Now I have my license. Now I don't have to refer anybody out. Now I can start doing it. Now, just like any other sales gig, you're going to start off part-time. So I was doing it part-time, getting a lot of clients, to be honest, from the firm, from here, from there. And then eventually into 2019, because I was still doing it part-time, 2019, I think it was April to June, like that quarter, I had 32 closings.
Wow.
And then I was like, this is pretty cool. I was like, this is great. And, I was making really, really good money at the firm. So it was hard to walk away from that. And I was like, you know what, dude, I'm gonna take a leap. And my daughter now was about 6-7 years old. And took a leap. Now, when you go into our world, right, there's you're gonna have a lot of editing to do.
We were just talking about this. I was like, we've been so good. I've had no editing to do at all these past months.
Well, you jinxed yourself.
And I don't like doing that. So. Well, we're back.
All right, cool. What the fuck was I?
You took the leap.
Yeah. So I ended up taking the leap, right? Left the firm, left the salary, left this. when we're in sales, any sales gig, right? Real estate, mortgages, to an extent, if you're sales and marketing, right? You're only commish.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 7-year-old daughter. My wife was working for the Bergen County Social Services, and she's a typical 9 to 5 person. She's not like us. We're like, throw me in the trenches, wake up early, we'll work,
Yep.
crank away. So we took a leap, and then we're cranking into it, and then what basically happened 6 months later, 7 months later, COVID, and I'm like, shit. COVID happened. Now, within 3 months of me doing that, I had partnered up with someone, and we opened up our own complete branch solo. And business was great. COVID hit. We had just signed a brand new lease in Woodbridge,
Mm-hmm.
and that sucked. It was a 3-year lease. We weren't even allowed in the office with the government mandate for like 2-3 months. So anyways, so we get past that, we do it, and business is cranking away. 2020, 2021, I mean, it's busy. I had 16 loan officers, a bunch of support staff, the whole shebang. Market started to obviously transition 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't necessarily see eye to eye with the past partner. Got rid of him, and kept the staff, kept everything in place, and then opened up the office in Eatontown. Now, when I moved down to Toms River, Woodbridge was a drive.
Yeah.
But I was stuck there for 3
Yep.
years.
Now that's over.
Yeah.
Now, Eatontown-
April of 2023 is when I signed the lease in Eatontown, 1 Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big corporate building.
Yep. I've been in that
yeah,
building.
Yeah.
I think I did a podcast in that building.
Yeah, they have a
actually.
shared universe, or it used to be there. I don't know if it's still there.
I did it right before COVID.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they redid the whole place.
Oh, cool.
Because I think there was a fire or something there.
Oh wow.
So they redid the whole place. So now it's like really, really nice. So now I got 2 suites in there. One for me and the employees, and then the other suite is a full blown media room.
Oh, awesome.
Where we shoot videos, content, the whole shebang. And we took it from there, man.
Great. That's awesome. So, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot
going on.
But I mean, I think there's no looking back at this point.
No, absolutely not. I mean, listen, there's in any industry, right? You're pivoting accordingly.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the word that I say. We're all in. I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Right. I got my wife, my 2 kids now. You're in it. And do you have to work? Like a jackass? Yeah, you do. But the best part about it now is statistically. So I also own a mortgage licensing school,
Mm-hmm.
like I was sharing with you. So eventually I dissolved the credit repair company
Mm-hmm.
and opened up the school. I wasn't allowed to have both
Mm-hmm.
with the Department of Banking. So opened up the school. It was a big recruiting tool, obviously, at the same time, bringing in new loan officers, joining the team, the whole shebang. And at the same time, I also do a lot of real estate CEs, so
Mm-hmm.
for real estate agents getting their continuing education and stuff like that. But, you're pivoting accordingly. But I'll tell you, I mean, this year there's a reduction of say put like a pen or some shit. There you go. It could be the battery.
Turns it back on. I had to charge it.
Yeah.
Do you want to go back to the other camera?
Probably not now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, but I'll tell you right now. I mean, for mortgages, loan officers have to renew their license every year.
Yep.
December 31st, your license expires. So, so now I'm seeing a massive reduction of loan officers renewing their license by almost 50%. And the same thing in real estate. I think the statistic is like every 3 seconds a real estate agent exits the business.
Really?
Yeah. So you remember that stat I was telling you where it's like 50 million homeowner affordability 23?
Mm-hmm.
So I look at it the same way. Well, there's less homeowners out there, but there's also less professionals who are staying consistent, hunting, pivoting, doing digital marketing, doing social media, doing the events that we do together, doing a lot of that stuff. And that's about it, man. so it's certainly pivoting accordingly and just going all in. And there's businesses out there. If you're telling me that there's 4 million homes that are being sold this year, you can't tell me that I can't grab at least 100 of that.
Exactly. You have to think about that. Like, yes, there's less, but you got to just be more.
Yeah.
And again, I think commitment and you're going all in to make sure that your customers are happy, that that your team is taken care of, that you're doing well, that you're giving them the support they need. I think when you look at all the in business, it's hard. I mean, every day it's a grind. Everybody's got a point of view of something. Everybody's a critic these days, because they saw it on YouTube, or they did this or they did that. So, I mean, when you look at all that, like, you have to be everything to your clients and, and to your team. But again, I think, you have to. The fuck is going on here?
I honestly have no idea. Just wants to freak out. Got one last attempt to make it stop doing this. Alright, go back.
Yeah.
All right. So, when you look at this, it's like, you have to be doing whatever it needs to take to get it done. I mean, there's no, like, it doesn't stop. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, 4 million homes being sold. There's no way why each professional can't grab a few, right? And I think it truly comes down to that, right? But it also comes down to us as professionals, changing along the way, right? I'm sure, I know you've been doing this for quite some time, but you probably never used to do website design 20 years ago.
No.
Because it wasn't a thing.
No.
Right? You never used to do, I don't know, maybe step and repeat banners 10 years ago.
Because no one used
it
them.
wasn't a thing.
No.
So you change accordingly, and I'm a firm believer in that. You have to do that. It's truly the professionals that I see all the time, right? That are old school, that don't have that reputation
Yep.
online, or have a crap reputation, right?
All right, this thing's got to get thrown out after this today.
Yeah, I would get just a regular standing one, and that's it.
You're the first guest where we had technical difficulties.
Thank God it's me, 'cause I don't give a shit. It wasn't the other girl.
Yeah, right?
She would have been like, what the fuck? For me, I'm usually, man, you should have seen when I used to first get started, I used to like grab like a water bottle and do this and then just play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then eventually you get a bunch of crap along the way.
One last try.
Yep, no worries. But yeah, so I mean, we would, you pivot accordingly. You make the changes. You most importantly, put yourself out there with different professionals, with different avenues of industry, things, and you take it from there.
And your referral partners are a good lead source for you too.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, they know you're working eyes open to eyes shut, Monday to Monday. Like, they'll call me and it's Saturday at 5 o'clock and like, hey, I'm so sorry to bother you. I'm like, can you stop?
Yeah.
I'm like, if you're not calling me on a Saturday and Sunday, throughout the day, then I think you're cheating on me with somebody else.
Yeah.
Because that's when you're generally busy. So, yeah, I'm at my daughter's swim meet, or I'm at my son's karate, or, we'll go to a bunch of wineries and we'll this or that. I'm here. Like, I could pick up the phone. And we're big tech guys, obviously. So I could run a client's credit score securely right from my phone, bang it out real quick, eye it, run a mortgage calculator, boom, pre-approved, here you go.
That's great, though,
yeah.
that you have that hustle. And again, I think that's where you have that competitive edge and that, advantage over other people that are not doing that. And they're like, oh, my office is closed. It's Friday at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'll call you Monday morning. I think that, when you look at in a competitive environment and an environment where there's less activity, you have to be willing to do what it takes to get there.
And you'd be surprised. I mean, there's a lot of people where they're like, "Hey, I can't get a hold of the lender right now. Can you call the client?" And then I don't even text them back. I just call the client, and I'm on the phone with the client, and I text them like, "Hey, yeah, I'm already on the phone with the client."
Yep.
And then they see, because normally once I'm on the phone with the client, I group text with the agent or with whoever and start sending a bunch of content.
Yep.
My YouTube channel, different videos that I set, steps to the home buying process, this, that, and again, identifying. We were talking earlier, who the client out there is.
Yep.
Who's buying a house right now, unless it's your second home or you're a little late in the game, for lack of better words, right? But the people who are buying right now is your Gen Z buyers, is your millennial buyers. They don't want to talk to you.
No.
They want to be able to know who the heck you are,
Mm-hmm.
which is again social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. They want to be able to make sure that you know what you're talking about. You got your YouTube channel, you got videos. They want to see that you have reviews online and stuff like that, and then they'll entertain a conversation.
Sure.
And I always relate it to, you were just telling me about a restaurant, right? The one in Manasquan. The first thing I'm going to do.
Shout out to Blend on Maine.
Yeah. First thing I'm going to do is tell my wife this place. What do you think she's going to do?
Go on Google.
Google.
Look at the reviews. Then she's going to go to their social channels. And if she's an Instagram first, she's going to Instagram. If she's a Facebook first, going there. And then she's going to look at the food dishes. And then she's going to go to Open Table probably and make a reservation.
So that's exactly it. And there's places like, some restaurants that are like a little old school that you can't make a reservation on Open Table. That's kind of a turnoff for me.
It is.
Because can I pick up the phone? Sure, but
do I want to?
Yeah, I'm spontaneous. I already talked about it. If we go to Red Bank and I want to make a reservation, I don't want to have to call or wait or whatever. I want to just look at it. All right, you guys got a good number of reviews. Usually, by human nature, we're going to go to the ones that have the highest reviews or the most number of reviews. I want to make sure that you have photos on your page and stuff like that, so I could actually want to go there. And that's how I look at our side of the world. Right? I look at it the exact same way when it comes to mortgages. So it's up to me to pump out the content and stuff like that. And then when clients eventually talk to you, then I also, even my style talking to someone, it's going to be different.
Sure.
Because you mentioned grit, right? So how I talk to a client, if a consumer is very understanding of market conditions and inflation and employment and stuff like that, then I could talk my head off and talk about that stuff. But if a client's just very monthly payment conscious or very conscious about certain avenues, that was my truck, very conscious about certain avenues, I'm not going to talk to them about inflation plan. They can care less about that.
You have to be able to read the customer and know what's of interest to them to get them the information that they need, so that they feel that you can relate to them.
Yeah. So that's about it, man. And we stay busy, we crank away, and we take it from there.
What's the plan for 2024? How many agents are going to have working for you?
So the goal is to go back to having my 15, 16 loan officers.
That's your sweet spot.
That's I think the good number where I also try to hire strategically too, just like we all do. So hiring certain Spanish-speaking loan officers or certain loan officers that may know specific niche programs and stuff like that. Because I tried it, man. Back in the day when you were hiring, as many real estate professionals tend to, you're hiring bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not really a fan of that. I tried that. It sucks. It's a headache. You're dealing with, for those of us out there who manage employees, it's a different type of headache.
Yeah.
And it's better for me. These are all commission-based employees too. So it's it doesn't cost much to hold an employee. But for me, it's more of just, motivation and things like that, and making sure that we have the right team, the right systems in place and stuff like that to accommodate. We do lend throughout the nation, not just Jersey. So we do a lot in PA, Florida, Texas. I just closed that 1.6 in Houston, Texas, if you saw the picture.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful, beautiful home. And we pivot accordingly. It's the only company PureMG, my sponsor, is the only company I've been with.
Yep.
Which, if anyone knows mortgages and real estate, guys are jumping ship left and right everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? They take a baloney sign-on bonus, which means they're offering higher interest rates, and then they're going somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
the company's always been good to me. I'm usually the guinea pig with a lot of their tech stuff too, and we're bouncing ideas back and forth. But truly surrounding yourself with the right professionals like yourselves and making sure we're giving the right avenues of support and stuff like that, I think is what allows us to be successful. So.
I love it. I'm glad that you got to come in today. You did a great job. I'm glad that I was the one that helped bring interest rates down.
Yes, I love it.
Wingman will take credit for that. And I look forward to continuing to work together, network together, refer each other, and keep doing great things.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Have a good one, bud.
Thanks, man.
Oh, put in all your socials.
Yep. So social. So got_mortgages, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, the whole shebang. Again, my name is Abdel Khawatmi, owner, branch manager, Paramount Residential Mortgage Group. Got Mortgages. My school is Got Originator. www.gotoriginator.com. Mortgages is www.gotmortgages.com. Boom.
Besides the camera, I think it was